So now that you know the definition of incentive, which is somebody offering you something, trying to convince you to make a change in behavior or make a choice, we're going to talk more about incentives in real life and incentives when it comes to the economy and those people who want to make a business. So when parents or teachers want you to behave in a certain way, they sometimes offer incentives to encourage you or influence you to make a choice. Offering incentives is one way to get people to do what you want. When a teacher offers stickers to students who finish their work on time, this is an incentive. Or, for example, in our classroom, in the third grade classrooms, you guys get paid with the fake money to do your work, which you can then spend on prizes. When a parent offers ice cream to their children to finish their vegetables, this is an incentive. Incentives often work to influence people's behavior. However, not all incentives work for all people. Let's learn more about incentives offered to you. Which incentives influence you and which do not? So I'm going to go back down here. And here are some examples of some incentives that your parents and teachers might offer. So when I read these, think about, do these work for you? Would this convince you or encourage you to do the activity or to get something done? So getting an allowance for doing chores. Time out for being rude to parents. Now, that's kind of like something you want to avoid. That's called a negative incentive, and we'll talk more about that later. Being grounded for fighting with your sister. Extra money for raking leaves. Losing TV time if room is not clean. Hugs for being helpful. And then, there's some others that you could think of at home. So some incentives at school are like stickers for turning in homework on time. I know that we give money. Fake money. No, there's a note home to parents for misbehaving in the lunchroom. That's again a negative incentive. You want to avoid that. Good grades for studying. No recess if classwork is not finished. If you lose a library book, you can't check out new ones. Field trips for classes that behave well. And again, you can think of maybe some more school incentives that you guys have. So those positive incentives make kids better off if they choose the correct behavior. These are called rewards. So you could be rewarded, like I said, for doing your homework, or at home, if you do your chores, you might be rewarded. Negative incentives punish kids and leave them worse off if they do not choose the correct behavior. These are called penalties. So penalties might be, again, if you don't do your homework or you misbehave in school, you'll get a note sent home. If you're fighting with your sister, you'll get grounded or put in timeout. So those are just some examples of incentives, and then we'll talk more about some economic incentives in the next slide.